Hi, I'm Taylor. I have aHUS, otherwise known as complement-mediated thrombotic microangiopathy. My journey with this disease started when I had my first baby, my only baby. I had a very routine pregnancy and then a pretty routine C-section, actually. I didn't even get to hold the baby. They sort of took the baby. My husband's in the throes of new fatherhood, and I just felt very, very tired. And then all of a sudden I was rushed by all these medical professionals, and I was bleeding, and they weren't even sure from where. They put me under anesthesia. I was out for, until like another afternoon later, so almost 2 days. And really a lot was happening in my body. It was sort of a cascade of challenges. I would say, heart failure, liver failure. I was having abdominal issues too. And so about a day later, luckily, despite all these doctors who had a lot of theories but no really ideas, my nephrologist noticed, luckily, that I had low platelets. And so he brought in a hematologist who, thank goodness, was like, I think it might be this thing. And if it is aHUS, she needs eculizumab, the complement inhibitor, right now. And my husband approved it. I wasn't even awake to really decide. And luckily, I think I'm talking to you today because I got that treatment right away. It sort of stopped this sort of waterfall of problems. But the waterfall of problems had begun already. And so I had, the list of issues that I had, even by the next Monday, I had been in and out of the ICU, on a ventilator 2 times at this point. And finally, I get to meet my baby. I had my baby on a Thursday. I met her on a Sunday, very briefly before she got to go home, and I had to stay another 5 weeks. I would say that while they were continuing to stabilize me, the problems just never quite stopped. So I was still having active disease, even though it was slowed. And at this point, I also had an infection. I had pneumonia and sepsis due to probably my immune system hit. So it was a real juggle between my providers. At one point, about 2.5 weeks in, I'm in a coma at this point, and my husband gets that midnight call that I may not make it home. My body's just been hit so hard. For the grace of whatever is in this universe, I wake up, I get off the ventilator, and I remember feeling like I was seeing an absurdist play where everyone wore a doctor's jacket and everyone said different things, and I had the same conversations with different, next steps and plans. And I stopped and said, I remember to one physician, and I said, frankly, it does not sound like you all are talking to each other. And I am so grateful that they heard me, because I will say that I do believe that a text chain saved my life ultimately, because it allowed them to all get on one chain. The cardiologist, the pulmonologist, the nephrologist, the hematologist, the maternal fetal medicine team, the infectious disease team, the residents, they all got on one. The internist, I even had brain scans from uremia. I was having psychological issues. So I also had a psychology team, and they all got on one thread and one place of conversation to come up with an agreed upon next step. And I was able to, thank goodness, get home to my baby. I was still in rough shape when I came home, couldn't walk, needed tons of physical therapy. I was also on dialysis 3 times a day. My kidneys were really rough when I got home. And, at that point, my kidneys still did not heal enough until I got about 9 months into being home. But we really didn't know what the prognosis would be. I was really plateaued for a long time. And I remember, it was a real team effort. I ended up seeing, and consulting with 3 different nephrologists. I, had a hematologist and nephrologist that didn't always agree. I sort of, joked that I was, and this is true, I don't know why it's a joke, but that I really had to be both project manager and CEO of my care, because I had some specialists saying some things, some disagreeing. I would go get like second and third opinions so that I could have more knowledge about whose decisions were the ones I should go with. Should I be more aggressive? Should I stop and wait and see how we just do? It was just really, really such a problem-solving time, even outside of the hospital setting. Today, I'm very lucky. I still get infusions every 8 weeks. Basically, it's an invisible illness for me. I have challenges that actually are more like what I would call effects of the complement inhibitor, which is lucky. I mean, I think that's a luxury when the disease itself is sort of subdued enough that your side effects are the things that challenge you. But I do have, unfortunately, only about stage 3 kidney function. So, I may have to revisit dialysis at some point, but, I do the best to take care of myself. I sort of joke that I'm the healthiest sick person I know. But yeah, I think, the coordination of care was very, very challenging. And I don't know if there's a lot of great resources for physicians to be able to work effectively together, how to proceed when they don't agree. That was a true challenge for me. And, I also didn't have a lot of time. I think that that's the other key thing about this disease. I didn't get a biopsy for, about 4 weeks in, because for me it was very challenging extra because I had ended up having 4 abdominal surgeries. So laying on my stomach to get that biopsy was a huge challenge being postpartum. So I think, even though I didn't get that diagnosis specifically, getting that treatment early made all the difference. Because I think, anecdotally, for the folks that have this disease that did not get that early treatment, they don't always look like they've recovered like I have. Like a lot of people just say, oh, you're cured, right? And I'm like, well, not exactly. My body's ready to murder me whenever it gets triggered next if I'm not on this drug. But I am excited about what might be coming around the corner for the treatments. And I'm thrilled to be home to get to be the mom of a 19-month-old and have like some semblance of normalcy, despite the challenges of healthcare and doctors and, coordinating that care. But I am incredibly lucky. So thank you very much.